But is there any part of you that sometimes when you're looking at the rap news or whatever and you see what happened with Lil Ronnie, or you see what happened with MO3, and you're like, this virus is kind of infecting Texas as well?
Yeah, that shit's sad. That's Dallas, though.
Yeah.
Dallas trying to be somebody else and not who Dallas is. You one of the richest cities in Houston, and then you coming from a place. Well, this is what Dallas should take their page out of Houston, not some other place. Pow Wow, Chameleonaire, UGK, Bun, before Pimp passed. When Bun does the rodeo, he brings everybody out. All of our rappers still hang with each other. All of our people still kick it together. There's no real beef, even with the Trey and Zero thing. That got squashed. We don't have this killing each other shit that other people have. Man, Fat Pat and Hawk and Big Mo and Mike Jones, DJ Chose and B King did so many records together. You know, then Pow Wow, you'll be hard pressed not to find a record with Mike D, Zero, Kiki, Fat Pat, Hawk, Chameleonaire, Pow Wow together. Slim. Like, man, I remember going to see Slim and Roe together at the arena. I remember seeing Kiki and Hawk, Kiki and the Sensei, man. It's like we don't have this separatism when it comes to the artistry in Houston. We're not killing each other. We're gonna do a record with each other, but we ain't gonna kill each other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even when a mistake or a situation is difficult, they're going to talk about it versus, oh, I'm finna get on and dish you on a record and then start a whole my side of town against your side of town nonsense.
Right.
I don't have no problem with no comics in Houston. I'm not beefing with nobody.
Do you think that that's something that is because the elder statesmen in Houston still have a voice and some say so? Because I feel like that's like the number one deciding factor from a city like Chicago or Philly, where it feels like everybody's just killing each other nonstop, versus a place like LA where the crime rate or the murder rate is at like an all-time low, and it feels like the older gang members, leaders, whatever, can actually have some kind of input when dudes are beefing, and they're able to kind of step in and help navigate stuff. There's been plenty of times where I was watching a beef unfold where I knew someone was going to die over this, and then somebody older gets in there, manages to have a conversation. Because if you're, just to simplify it, if you're a blood and you're a Crip and you are going to kill each other, but then your 60-year-old OG talks to the other dude, 60-year-old OG, and they're able to come to an understanding, and they tell y'all, like, y'all cannot live like this. You don't do this. Don't let this get to another level. We need to have some level of respect. I mean, that goes a long way. And it feels like that's like a huge dividing line between the nonstop murder you see out of Philly and Chicago versus LA right now. And when you talk about Houston, I'm like kind of realizing, like, yeah, it does kind of exist in a special space.
That we have an identity.
Yeah.
And then we respect the elders. Like, I had a problem with somebody, and the old head called me, which is Willie D, and we talked, and I agreed to sit down. But it's probably a couple other people that could have called me, but I'm gonna respect the old heads. I grew up like that. You know, especially if they giving you some guidance and some sense. So I'm not gonna have my young boys crash out. If we can talk about it, let's talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time, I don't think there's nothing that we can't really sit down and talk about and get it straight.
Mm.
And too many times people are willing to crash out, and we stay down with each other.
Mm.
That's the one thing that I know for a fact. We stay down with each other.
Mm.
And I don't have a problem calling on somebody's behalf. Hey, bro, let me rap with you. And this out of respect. You know, somebody call me, it's not out of trying to check me, it's out of respect.
Right. I mean, a lot of times I think it's getting in there early, because people now are so used to being checked out. Social media just kind of isolates us. People see some bullshit going on the timeline. They don't want to get involved. They don't step in or whatever. But once blood's been shed, that's when it's really tough to get in between some violence that you feel like is going to happen. Like I was just interviewing Mano the other day, and one of the most famous gang wars in Brooklyn is the Woos versus the Chos. And he was telling me, because he's an old head from Brooklyn that has a lot of respect, and he's talking about how he tried to get in there and sort of, you know, do what he could to try to unite these dudes, and he just ended up walking away from it, realizing that he just didn't have the leverage to make anything happen. There's just too many people who have been hurt, and he wasn't really in a position to be able to stop anything. And it's kind of interesting to see a dude with as many stripes as him, who's been in the game for such a long time, and just having to sort of step away from at a certain point and be like, okay, like I'm not going to be able to tell all these young dudes to stop killing each other.
You got to get to sometimes you can't do it alone.
That's true.
You got to kind of rally and get, it's been times that somebody knew they wasn't going to be able to stop something with me alone.
Mm-hmm.
And then they call somebody else, and now it's a team meeting. And I'm, okay, now you done called a bunch of old heads. And then I'm like, okay, cool. And then sometimes it's been where I done had to call more than 2 or 3 people. Hey, bro, let me get to the source by getting to somebody else. Hey, bro, ease up. And then sometimes we didn't have to talk down the old head that somebody done disrespected, and the old head want to go out there. And you like, yo, man, let us talk to him, bro. Let us get that. And then the old head in the conversation, yeah, somebody better tell him something. And and then you call, hey, bro, listen, what you doing, man? And that's just having a community. And sometimes you got to put your foot down and say, this is the other thing. Sometimes you got to put your foot down and say, yo, look, this ain't happening, bro. It's going to be too much. Because if you go here, then I'm going to have to go here. And then somebody else like, yeah, I'm going to have to go. If he go there, then I'm going to have to go there. So this is like going to be like 7 on 1.
Right.
This 7 crews on 1 crew. So y'all can either chill out or...
Okay, so you just saw the clip, but did you know that you can watch this entire interview right now before it's released to the public, uncensored, by becoming a member for just $5 a month, and there's a lot of other crazy benefits as well. So make sure you hit the link down in the description and sign up. Appreciate y'all.